welcome to DieCastRestos. I'm Jason and this is the 65A Jaguar 3.4 Litre. It was introduced to Lesney's Matchbox range in 1959. The model came in a mid-shade of blue, but later it could be found in a metallic blue colour. It had silver trim applied to the front and rear bumpers, the grille, headlights and number plate, while the rear lights occasionally had red trim applied. It was replaced in 1962, rather confusingly, by the Jaguar 3.4 Litre. Based on the Mark II Jaguar, unlike its predecessor, which was based on the Mark I, the 65B Jag came in a box that stated 3.8 litre, but the base was cast with 3.4 litre, so the two are often confused. The 65B was larger, featured an opening bonnet, and had a plastic windscreen. This example is a bit tatty, with poor paintwork that has chipped away in large chunks. It's also suffering from rusted axles, and the base is in particularly poor condition. Based on the Jaguar Mark I, built by Jaguar cars between 1955 and 1959, the 3.4 litre engine was introduced in 1957. It was visually different to the earlier 2.4 model. Wire wheels were available with a larger front grille for improved cooling, and the spats covering the rear wheels were removed. It was designed particularly for the American market, but eventually it was made available for the domestic market. Here I attempt to remove the wheels from the axles, and the front wheels come off with relative ease, but the rear wheels needed some WD-40 to loosen them up. I got there eventually, and here are all the component parts. Next up is the hot water prior to caustic soda for paint removal. With the patchy paintwork now removed, you can begin to appreciate the beauty of the casting. The simple and elegant lines and the small stature make this casting look almost fragile. But it is far from that, with that beefy central post holding the model up, and the thick metalwork very representative of the pre-1960 Matchbox designs. The Mark I 3.4 Litre successfully competed in numerous touring car races, saloon car races and rallies. It had been raced by Sterling Moss and Mike Hawthorne, the latter a Formula 1 world champion who died in a car accident driving his own highly modified 3.4 litre Jaguar. The casting receives a coat of Tamiya fine surface primer in light grey. It doesn't conceal any of the finer details on the grille or the very faint door markings on the sides. Here I noticed a pin-sized hole on the roof that needed filling, so to rectify this I turned to my trusty Humbrol model filler and slathered it on the roof. This can later be gently sanded down and have primer reapplied. The rusty axles are attended to using some sandpaper and my battery drill. The grey plastic wheels are cleaned in a soapy solution. There are benefits to using these vice grips, but they are a pain on these shorter axles. But it's worth it for the authentic crimp that they produce, eventually. Attending to the base, I use a chrome paint pen to make the ends of those axles sparkle. Paint application, and I use Tamiya TS15 Blue. A little darker than that used in the factory, but I prefer a Jaguar in a darker shade. I've gone against my usual as close to factory as possible ethos for this one, but in my mind it just suits it better. There are some incredible real world photos of the 3.4 litre in a mid-blue shade, similar to the Matchbox model if you search online. It looks absolutely stunning. Now onto highlighting those casting details. As mentioned earlier, the model benefited from trim on the headlights, grille and the bumpers. In addition, a silver rectangle was painted on the boot lid on the raised registration plate area. I lay down some streaks of chrome over the taillights to emphasise the red paint when they are later painted in. As the bumpers are part of the base casting, it makes it incredibly easy to colour in these areas, using both my 1 and 2mm Molotow pens. After using a toothpick to paint in the red and it's dried, it's time to reassemble the model, clipping in the front end to the grille section and fastening these 2 screws. So here is a reminder of how this 3.4 Jag looked when we started off today. Missing large sections of paint, particularly along the left hand side, it was in dire need of a respray. Collections of dirt and dust have concealed some of the fine casting lines and the markings, and all of the silver trim had been worn away. The axles had seized up, especially the rear wheels, which wouldn't turn independently. They needed a little WD-40 magic just to remove them for restoring. As much as I like this shade of blue, I decided to go a little darker, to go for what I consider to be a more authentic look. So this big cat was looking a little tame, so here is what it looks like now. Immediately you notice the darker shade. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on how well this suits. The chrome pen has highlighted the lights, the grille and the bumpers, so they stand out vividly. The axle ends and wheels are no longer showing signs of rust and decay, and the tail lights, even on that dark bodywork, really come through. Another simple yet effective classic model in the Matchbox range, and one that was well worth a restoration. So I'm awaiting the parts for the 65B. I'm anticipating getting those and comparing the 2 models. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.